morning to the Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, online viewers, radio listeners via Tel TV Plus, also St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, and TV 15 viewers. I'm Charity Dunker, and welcome to the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, to address you. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning to you too, Ms. Dunker, and good morning to your colleagues. Good morning to the members of the media, and good morning to my colleague, and also good morning to the people of St. Martin. Today, I want to congratulate Charlotte Brookson Academy on the signing of the MOU with Bowie State University. The signing of the MOU opens up opportunities for the students of St. Martin and for the students of Charlotte Brookson in particular to study, to further their studies in the fields of arts. On Saturday, a student of the Charlotte Brookson Academy was awarded a scholarship by Bowie State University. And for this, I would like to congratulate Mr. Keon Blair, the student of Charlotte Brookson Academy, on receiving this prestigious scholarship. Definitely, I would also like to say thank you to Dr. Amita Bro, who is the president of Bowie State University, and Mr. Donald Hoffman in particular for awarding the scholarship. Today, it also pleases me to congratulate all the persons who received a Sage Cultural Award on Saturday evening. It shows that we have recognized the contribution that our people are making, and we are showing our gratitude towards them for their contribution. For the event, I would like to thank everyone who, in which way or the other, have made it possible for this award ceremony to take place. Further for today, as Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, together with the Department of Sports and the National Sports Institute, we are pleased to announce that the proceeds from the 2022 Brown Pelican Awards are being donated to the Swaliga Youth Basketball Association. On November 13th, 2022, the 6th annual Brown Pelican Award was hosted at the Alice Convention Center and Event Hall before a large crowd of athletes, coaches, and supporters. The evening highlighted the sports of basketball and honored 10 basketball legends in light of their outstanding contribution to the sport. Awards were also given out to the winners of the various categories, which consisted of the best male and female athletes, best coaches, best sporting organization, best overall team, and best sponsor. In addition to honoring legends and awarding winners, the Brown Pelican Sport Awards also sought to raise funds in aid of supporting the development of sports on St. Martin. And this year, the focus for the funds are placed on basketball and the needs highlighted by the Swaliga Youth Basketball Association. Specifically, we are supporting the medical event insurance and basketball equipment for the 2023 5-on-5 youth basketball season. I am pleased with the funds that were generated from the event and would like again to thank the general public for coming out in support of the celebrating of the best of St. Martin sports. The amount that was generated is $1,141.11. And I thank everyone who, in one way or the other, contributed to making this possible. Specifically, also thank you to all the persons of the Department of Sports of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports. This is for me at this moment, and I will await any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Dr. Anders Ross Samuel. At this time, I'd like to invite and welcome the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Romy, Egbert Durant, to address you. Good morning, Minister.
Thank you, Charity. Good morning, Minister Samuel, members of the media, members of the DCOM team, and a special good morning to the entire population of St. Martin that are tuned in. I learned of the passing of Miss Iris Phillips. The late Miss Phillips was the sister of Miss Patsy Phillips, who currently serves at the Council of Advice. And on behalf of the government of St. Martin, I would like to wish the family and friends much strength during this difficult time. Although she is gone from our sight, I know her memory will definitely live on in our hearts. In that same note, I would also like to wish much strength to the family of the late Mr. Eric Vanterpool, who was an employee at the airport and also functioned in many different areas with respect to music. May their souls rest in peace, and all others that are dealing with losses over the last couple of weeks, I wish you and your family much strength during these difficult times. I would also like to join my colleague minister in congratulating the Charlotte Brookson Academy on the signing of their MOU over the weekend. It was so good to see such progress being made in our educational system for our youth. With the signing of the MOU, our students can now receive additional exposure to the professional world of performing arts and academics, as is well noted as the HBCU. Once again, congratulations to Ms. Arundel and the entire team, the supervisory board, the management staff, and also especially the students that are now being able to get that exposure. I would like to also take this opportunity to congratulate the Weems on their 30th anniversary. I mean, 30 years is definitely a long time. It's as long as I've been around. I encourage the people of St. Martin and the business community to support them in their ongoing fundraising efforts. The aim is to build a pre-hospital training center that will be available for teaching, hosting instructors and students from nearby islands as well. Share lecturing, teaching facilities for their foundation with their foundation, and host CPR demonstration courses for schools and youth organizations. As you know, I'm always in support of anything that builds our people, and such a venture will definitely have my support. Again, congratulations to all the hardworking staff and management board of the Weems. In regards to the community risk mapping project, I would like to congratulate all participants that took part in the recent community risk mapping project. This training was part of the EU-funded project Technical Assistance for Disaster Response and Preparedness. The risk map training aims to equip the community leaders, community-minded people, and other key stakeholders with necessary understanding and know-how about community risk mapping so that they'll be able to facilitate in their own communities. It was a pleasure to be present and assist in handing out the certificates of the participants. I would also like to acknowledge the staff of VSR for hosting this event, in particular Ms. Chantal George Groeneveld for all the time that went into preparing this, and also congratulate all the participants. In regards to domestic violence, today, in collaboration with the Voices Foundation, as Government of St. Martin, we stand in solidarity with the survivors and families of victims of domestic violence in demonstrating our support. We are dressed in lilac or purple colors, and we encourage the community to do the same. The theme for the International Domestic Violence Awareness Month is Everyone Knows Someone. I encourage us all to be the voices to who we are for those who are trapped in silence, give those who are crying out for help our support. Stuart Mill said, "Bad men need nothing more to do to compass their ends than that good men should always look on and do nothing." So when you're aware of a domestic violence situation or abuse case, whether male or female, do something, say something, show someone that you care, because everyone knows someone. In regards to the Ministry of Romy, I would like to make an announcement in regards to irregularities with the former district cleaning contracts. We have encountered some irregularities with documents regarding the district cleaning contracts of 2019. This was brought to my attention by the administrative staff and the current acting department head. The matter is being investigated, and hopefully we can provide some answers very soon and resolve this very quickly. It was found that certain documents didn't match up. For instance, the Landsbesluit didn't match up with the contract that was signed by the previous minister. We are doing everything in our power to resolve this and make sure that the contractors are dealt with fairly, and also that government's best interest is protected at all times. In regards to the roadworks, on Monday, November 28th, I can finally say I was able to sign the contract with Union Roads to carry out the resurfacing work on behalf of government. As we all know, there's much that needs to be done in regards to our road network. As for someone who drives, I understand the frustration that our motorists feel sometimes. The process of due diligence, when it involves large sums of money, all, as you know, takes a while, with documents having to be vetted by various departments. And in this case, we're talking about over 2 million guilders. Again, I understand the frustration. I would like to apologize for the inconvenience that we are experiencing, but just let the public know that we will be starting within short with all the works that are being carried out. And this will be publicized as well, so everyone would know which areas are being tackled first. On Friday, December 9th, the Minister Plenipotentiary will be, in collaboration with me, will be hosting a job mixer between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. in The Hague. The mixer will be held at Prinsjesgracht 7, 2514 AN in The Hague. That will be published online as well. The focus is to highlight the ministry's current vacancies, objective, and collaborative opportunities, and showcase some of the projects that the ministry has accomplished and is currently working on. The main purpose of this is to do something similar that was done a couple months ago here locally and recruit key staff for various vacancies that we have within the Ministry of VROMI. One of my dreams has always been to, especially being a recent student, when I say recent, I came back here in 2016, and I know that there's a lot of students, former colleagues of mine, or classmates of mine, I should say, that are in The Hague and can contribute to building St. Martin, but sometimes lack the encouraging efforts to do so. And I want to make it known that my goal and my vision has always been for us to bring back our own local students that have benefited, whether it's from scholarships, whether it's pre-education and so forth in St. Martin, to be able to come back and contribute and help build. So that is the main objective of this mission. As I mentioned, the vacancies will be published online with more details with respect to the job mixer that will be held in The Hague. I would like to thank the Ministry of VROMI and all the staff that are assisting in organizing this, as well as the Minister Plenipotentiary and his cabinet for facilitating us next week, God's willing. And I would like to encourage all those that live in the Netherlands to come out and take part in it and see if you can find something that suits you with respect to a job vacancy. Last but not least, I must say that it is a great day for Country St. Martin as we won the case against Alegria Real Estate NV over the long lease water rights. This decision was handed down on Friday, November 25th by the Court of Appeals in the case that was filed against the injunction case decision of the Court of First Instance. In this decision, the Court of Appeals has not only reversed the judgment by the Court of First Instance, but also denied Alegria's claim to be issued approximately 13,500 square meters in water rights for 60 years. Based on their claim, agreement that would have been reached between the company and previous government administration, the area in question located in Burgo Bay in Maho, adjacent to the Alegria-owned property, the Morgan Resort. In the 9-page decision to deny Alegria's claim among the legal matters, attention was paid to the question of the court whether it was administrative or civil. I'm sure we all remember that discussion about a year and a half ago. Was the correct one to have the long lease issued adjudicated? The question, if an agreement was reached that could have bind Country St. Martin, if there was reasonable expectation raised by Alegria that they would get said long lease rights, the Court of Appeals did not consider that Alegria had a reasonable expectation that they would receive the water rights in long lease due to, among other facts and circumstances, the negative advice from Domain Affairs, which contradicted the actions of the former Secretary General of VROMI, the position of myself as minister, as was mentioned in the warning letter that I issued to then SG on August 5th, 2020, and my denial of the request for water rights on October 6, 2020. The conclusion of the Court of Appeals is that Country St. Martin, particularly in the injunction case, that was originally filed by Alegria is not bound by an email correspondence between the former attorney handling the matter for Country St. Martin and attorney of Alegria. As such, the decision of the first instance was annulled and the claims of Alegria were denied. I would like to say that this is a big win for the people of St. Martin. Just over 2 years ago, I gave my commitment in correcting this wrong that was done, and I'm glad now to be able to come back with this great news and say that we won. With that being said, that concludes my opening remarks, and I look forward to any questions members of the media might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister and also Minister of Romy Egbert Duran. If you have just joined us, you're watching the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, November 30th, 2022. At this time, we now move on to the question and answer session, whereby I now welcome and open the floor to the media. Ms. Bibi Hadshaw of SMN News, you have the floor. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Charity. Good morning, ministers. Good morning, colleague. My first questions will be posed to the Minister of ECYS. Minister Samuel, can you give us some updates on the upgrading of the sports facilities? Can you tell us if these facilities are safe? For example, the Jose Lake Ballpark, the Raul Illich Sports Complex, were these facilities slated to be repaired through the ERP program, the World Bank? If so, what happened? We are how many years away? 5, 6 years away? And can you also give us an update on the Martin Luther King School? I mean, we're hearing a lot about CBA, which is great news, but I think the students of Dutch Quarter, they need to know what's happening with Martin Luther King School. And was this work supposed to be conducted by the NRPB?
Thank you, Bibi, for those questions. Let me start with the MLK school. I have requested up to this morning an update, and I have been told that between this week and next week, the awarding of the job will be taking place. So I am awaiting these documents to see exactly how far this is. Awarding of the contract will then have to go via the Council of Ministers to be approved. And after this, the repairs of the Martin Luther King School in Dutch Quarter will be able to start after the contractor most naturally have agreed for the one that won the bid. And I don't know which one that is at the moment. I too, indeed, I am very happy on one side that it is moving forward, but on the other side, a bit disappointed that it's taking so long. The school needs to be repaired. The students are displaced in different areas, and the quicker they get back to their location in Dutch Quarter would be best for not only the students, but also for the area. I would I would also like to then give an update on the sports facilities. Let me start by the John Cooper Jose Lake facility. I have announced a couple weeks ago that the money to buy the lights was approved, and that meant that we are maybe a couple of weeks further, that the purchase of the lights and the 3 poles that were missing is ongoing. That is good news. I know that some repairs was also being done to the bleachers. So the repairs regarding the John Cooper Jose Lake ballpark is ongoing. The other ball fields, most naturally, are on the list of the NRPB together with the inside gyms of the schools. So the schools have gyms, and those gyms are on the list of the repairs for the NRPB. This was mentioned in the past. I know that assessments was made, and NRPB have been indicated so many times. Their process is a very, very slow process. We are working with it, and I do hope that we can move forward as soon as possible with these repairs. But they do have my attention, And every step forward, I will bring it to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Bibi. Now welcome Mr. Lyndon Brown of BCN TV. You have the floor.
Good morning to the people of St. Martin and the ministers that are here today and those that are not present. Question to the Minister of Vromi. Minister of Vromi with Allegri and also, Morgan Resort. You have been battered a lot of time on this topic, Minister. It have even went to Parliament. And would you say now, Minister, is a great breakthrough for the Ministry of Vromi and the Minister? Are you taking glory in this matter? And also, what next? Still, the problem with the garbage collection with the Ministry, with the Ombudsman. Is one down and another to go?
In regards to your first question, I mean, I wouldn't like to take any glory. At the end of the day, glory is to the Most High for making sure that St. Martin was spared such financial consequences based on, I don't want to say, not such good decision making by the previous minister as well as the Secretary General and the legal representative of Country St. Martin. I made it my business that I would make sure push and fight to the furthest extent that we can as a country legally to make sure that we are in a better position. And I did that, although a lot of odds and so was set against us winning. Nevertheless, we remain triumphant in this approach. So I would like to give thanks for that. And the second question was more like a statement, so I'm not too sure if it was even a question.
When it is over, is there a problem with the collection and spending where
Yes. Yeah. So we basically, again, like, as I mentioned, we've been over 2 years battling different things, court cases and different situations. Now we want to focus on actually getting projects done, more projects done, because we have been doing a lot. And you will see highlights in the media in the coming weeks as well, based on the plan of approach for 2023.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Lyndon. Ms. Bibi Hadshaw, you have the floor.
Thank you, Charity. Minister Doran, I think I can breathe a sigh of relief after hearing about this judgment regarding Alegria, the taped conversation you had in your office, and I'm expecting to hear some of that in Parliament. I mean, we heard a lot before, and I'd like to hear the ending from Parliament side. Regarding NVGEBE, there's an ongoing investigation. I believe 3 employees have been suspended. Can you give us an update? Recently, GEBE is now saying they are going to do disconnections because of the lack of people paying their bills. Do you know if the commercial department, if they rectified the bills that they're sending to consumers, and if people are getting corrected bills so that they can actually pay?
Thank you for the statement and the question. Indeed, again, as I mentioned, I can also breathe a sigh of relief. And I do hope that Parliament take this as serious as they did before, because I think if Country St. Martin would have lost, I would have been there now in an urgent meeting. So I hope an urgent meeting can be called again so that we can discuss the victory for Country St. Martin. With respect to the second point concerning GB, I do not have the full details on that, but I can say that I have received good bills and for the last couple of months, and also several persons that I know. I also heard of others that have not. So I cannot say if it has been fully resolved, but that is a good point, and I look forward to inquiring with via the Secretariat of the Council of Ministers to GB to find out if this is indeed the case and give you an accurate, firm answer on that point.
Can you tell us about the investigation? Where are we with the investigation?
No, at this point, I cannot give a comment on the investigation either, because I do not have the current up-to-date information. We receive bi-weekly updates, and as was mentioned, it is ongoing. I cannot give a concrete answer on that at this point.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Bibi. Mr. Lyndon Brown of BCN TV, you have the floor.
Question to the Minister of Vromi. Minister of Vromi, can you tell us, Is there any deadline on the project with the Prince Bernard Bridge, the restructuring and beautification of the whole area? And Minister, before you speak, seeing that, do you have confidence that it will happen very soon? Seeing that it is pending, we might hear the bell ring election.
With respect to the Prince Bernard Bridge, we did a tender, I think about 4 or 5 months ago. 2 companies did purchase the documents, but the day of the tender, no one participated in the tender at that time. We did a retender, which again, 2 companies participated, and now we did that, I think, about 4 weeks ago, and currently we're in the evaluation stage of those tenders in order to have it done. I mean, it's my goal to have it done yesterday. So it has my full attention, and we're currently getting steady updates on a weekly basis on the progress of it. As I mentioned, when you're dealing with public funds, there is a lot of processes that need to be executed. So I, again, urge the public to please be patient, but it is well on its way because I too want to see that eyesore repaired.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Lyndon. Ms. Bibi Hadshaw of SMN News, you have the floor.
Charity, thank you. Minister Samuel, it has come to my attention, and I can tell you about 12 teachers contacted me from 6 schools on the island, all Catholic school boards. All schools fall under the Catholic School Board. They did not receive any vacation allowance. They said letters were sent to you. Can you tell me if any meeting was held with the Catholic School Board with regard to the paying of the teachers their vacation allowance for this year?
Thank you, Bibi, for the question. In regards to the vacation allowance, and particular then for the Catholic School Board, I believe that I am aware that the vacation allowance was paid, let's say, for 2020 and for 2021. I am not aware if any vacation pay was done for 2022. I see you're shaking your head, and it also means for me that after this press briefing, I will make contact with the school board to see exactly what is the situation with that topic.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Bibi. Moving on to Mr. Lyndon Brown from BCN TV. You have the final question.
Yes. Question to the Minister of Education. Minister of Education, you probably mentioned about the progress of the Charlotte Brookson School. And how about holistically, and all our schools on the island, are they, their school which is pending, the Dutch Quarter School, to be rebuilt. Tell us, give us an insight, if you have the time, on that school and all the other schools on the island, if possible.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, as you know, and the public, and because I have been giving information about this topic from when I came in as minister, we have a amount of schools that are under the repairs of the NRPB. And from those schools, which we chose 6 schools to pull forward, I know that 5 of the 6 schools were completed. The Lionel Connor School was not yet completed. There was some additional work that had to get done. I did receive notice that the sewage system of the Lionel Connor School will be handed over tomorrow, Thursday. So I will await that event. We do have, in terms of, like I said, the 6 schools, we have the Milton Peters College, the St. Dominic School, and the Mac High that started the repairs, and they should be finished this month, so maybe not totally done, as I said in the beginning of my sentence. And I await that the second batch of repairs, I await the scheduling by NRPB, which they have indicated that this would be done in the early part of 2023. And that's the information that I have at this moment.
Thank you, Minister, and also thank you, Lyndon. Members of the media, that was the end of the Q&A session. I now will take this time to re-invite the Deputy Prime Minister and also Minister of Romy for additional statements. Minister?
Thank you, Ms. Dunker, for the opportunity. The situation regarding the firefighters is a serious matter. The Prime Minister has met and continues to dialogue with the Wixu PSU. Further improvements are scheduled to take place later this week, which will not hamper the operations of the fire department, as it will be done in phases to ensure continuity of the operations, while assuring the safety of the workers, which is our first priority, of course. This will be closely monitored. The transitional measure will remain in place until the long-term actions are ready to be executed. Should this require relocation of personnel, this will be coordinated in a proper manner with management, thoroughly planned out to not hamper any operations, and also the firefighters will definitely be notified. Last but not least, I would like to say that today marks the end of the Atlantic hurricane season. I must say, I want to thank God that we were spared once again. Encourage the people of St. Martin to still be vigilant to any weather that we might have. But just give thanks because since 2017, we have definitely been spared. And I continue to pray, and I ask you all to join us in prayer and giving thanks for the fact that we were spared. As you know, the annual Thanksgiving ceremony will take place, and details will be published in a subsequent broadcast. Thanks again, and God bless the people of St. Martin.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable ministers of the council, members of the media, radio listeners, and online viewers, this brings us to the end of the Live Council Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. For a rebroadcast, be sure to tune in to St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, Tell-Ems, Tell TV Plus, the official Facebook page, Government of St. Martin, and also YouTube channel, Government of St. Martin and TV 15. For video on demand as well, log on to Government of St. Martin. I'm Charity Dunker. On behalf of the Department of Communication and the Government of St. Martin, we bid you a pleasant day further.